undocumented citizens take advantage of our supposedly robust welfare state.
We know they're massively collecting food stamps, health care. It is 100%
Absolutely
true.
Not true. The only thing you can say is maybe they're using health care. Yeah,
okay,
the health care, as far as emergency rooms, approximately is
So we're going to go back in time to just after Trump won his first election, his first term, right? And we're going to have a look at a debate between Ann Coulter and Hasan Piker, who I believe is Cenk Uyghur's nephew, over the issues at the southern border and the construction of a border wall, how it relates back then and how similar it is today as Trump takes over once again after a Democrat had the White House. So let's take a look.
Immigration, one of the most important issues to both of you. We now have this migrant caravan, which is moving from Latin America through Mexico, expected to come to the U.S. maybe in a month or two. What should be the U.S. policy towards it?
We should invent a time machine, go back and have Trump fulfill his promise to build a wall. This is why his voters wanted a wall, so we don't have to go through this every few months. And if Democrats were smart, the theme of my book, Resistance is Futile, they're doing all the wrong things. The way you'd go after Trump is by saying you haven't fulfilled your promises. What have you done? You've cut taxes. You're going back to the old Republican playbook. I hope he will do it. Maybe if Democrats take the House, which it looks like they will, if they take the House, maybe it'll make him mad and he'll finally fulfill his #1 campaign promise. But to keep going through this every 2 months for the rest of our lives, and he's not going to be president forever, this is why we need a wall. Until then, I mean, sending troops to the border, which he says he's going to do, it sounds tough, but it isn't doing anything. The military, they're all just, handing out here's how you sign up for welfare. They're not stopping them there. That's why we want a wall.
So, Hasan, is building a wall the solution?
No, absolutely not. Also, what difference does it make whether we build a wall or not? These are legal asylum seekers coming in the caravan. It's not like these people are coming to cross the border or jump over the Mexican border. I feel like if they were trying to sneak into the country, they'd probably be doing a better job and not come in such high numbers coming in after escaping violence in their countries. And then on top of that, this notion that Ann is snuck in, they have welfare checks waiting for them at the border is also preposterous. It's proven over and over again that immigrants contribute far more than they take to the U.S. economy. And I think there was 1,436 economists from all different backgrounds that wrote an open letter to Donald Trump advising him that immigration is a net benefit. It's virtually every single economist agrees on this.
Ann?
Well, none of these are asylum cases, or they'd stop in the first country they get to. The idea of asylum is something like there's a Holocaust, there's a potato famine. No, this is how these people always live, which is why all of different countries want to come to, the biggest welfare state in the world. That is the United States, and get welfare checks. And yeah, okay, you got economists to sign a letter. Dumping poor people on America is not making us better. They are far more likely to be receiving welfare, and that's just your average illegal immigrant, and immigrant are way higher to be accepting government assistance than American.
How would they accept government assistance?
Applicants don't have to wait at all. They instantly get given food, housing, everything, but they aren't asylum cases. These aren't people fleeing one corrupt, I'm trying to kill you. Otherwise, they'd get to Mexico and say, phew, home free, I'm in Mexico. No, they want to come to the biggest welfare state in the world.
I mean, the American welfare state might be big in totality as far as our population goes, but it's definitely not as encompassing as plenty of other European nations. But that's besides the point. You mentioned welfare. Can you describe to me specifically how undocumented citizens take advantage of our robust welfare state?
They can't walk to Sweden. They can walk to this country.
No, but you're not answering my question.
They can also walk to Mexico, and they're not stopping there.
Okay, but you're not answering my question.
Well, you say
coming
asylum.
To the US
asylees are entitled to everything citizens are.
Oh, so now they're asylum seekers because previously you were using the perspective that they aren't asylum seekers.
No, I am saying they do not qualify. They should not qualify, but they are classified as asylees, as you say, and that's the whole panoply. In fact, they get more than citizens. They have housing built for them.
Undocumented citizens as a whole, because you have such strong opinions on this, and look, you've been doing this for longer than I've been alive, so I would love to hear your perspective on exactly how undocumented citizens take advantage of our supposedly robust welfare state.
We know they're massively collecting food stamps,
Not
health
true.
care. It is 100%
Absolutely
true.
not true. The only thing you can say is maybe they're
Emergency
using
rooms.
health care. Yeah,
Okay,
the
this is a
health care,
fact.
as far as emergency rooms, approximately is 0.09% of the entire health care budget.
Schools, English as a second language classes. All these schools across America. Oh, sorry, there's going to be no Christmas pageant this year. We had 16 English as a second language classes.
Are you
they
making
get
the
in
assumption that
rations.
Latin American countries are somehow
They get
not
in-
Christian and therefore don't want Christmas?
What does this have to
What
do
does
with
this have to do-
Christmas?
Well,
You're not following the
we're gonna
argument.
we're going to have to leave it there, but we will have more debate, and we're going to play this song. Why can't we be friends? 'Cause that,
No, we're actually not going to play that song because I don't want to get copyright stricken. And so let's pull up the graph real quick that saved Donald Trump's life. When the assassin took the shot at him, he turned his head, forcing the bullet to only graze Donald Trump's ear rather than end his life. Thank God. So anyways, on this graph, you see right in 2017, you can't see my mouse, but right at 2017, that's when Obama left office and Trump took over. Immediately, I think the fear of Donald Trump taking over, the fear mongering from the left actually had some effect that people weren't willing to risk even going and testing the waters, right? But as they did, they became more bold, and you see that the amount increased all the way up to the point in 2019 when the Trump tariff threat leads to Mexican cooperation, which I believe that is when Mexico began to guard the border from their side of the border, from the Mexican side with their military. And then we saw a dramatic drop off once again. And all the while, the Democrats, in my opinion, were trying to put in place this CBP app, which all the while the CBP One app was being developed, and it was eventually launched in October on the 28th of 2020. So just as Trump was leaving office, they enacted the CBP One app, which allowed these people to start seeking asylum via an app on their phone rather than just straight up going onto welfare, which is basically a migration of the folks going from food stamps to the CBP One app, which probably, in my opinion, isn't trackable the same way that food stamps was being trackable. It was potentially the workaround to expedite the process of getting these folks into our country, and you see the results as in 2020, right as soon as Biden takes over, which was a record low. That's where the red arrow is at the bottom of the screen there. The numbers grew astronomically and went straight up off the charts. Keeping in mind, these are the numbers, the amount of people that actually came through that we know of. This isn't people that are just crossing the border out in the middle of the desert or whatever and just walking into our country. These are people that are going through the process and being allowed in by the democratically ran government. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, while Kamala Harris was supposed to be this border czar, completely failing us as Americans. And Ann Coulter was right. She's saying that they go on welfare and food stamps. Now they go on the CBP One app. We know that it's confirmed that Biden and Kamala were having these immigrants flown to blue cities, these sanctuary cities. We've seen the videos of immigrants that can't speak English talking about how they got free health care for them, their children, how they're receiving debit cards with money loaded on them every month, thousands and thousands of dollars, basically being facilitated into the cities in numbers that we've never seen in American history. And it's something that cannot be sustained, right? And that's why I support Donald Trump and his mass deportation plan, whether it's the use of the military, which I don't even think is necessary. I think a lot of these people are committing so many crimes, additionally to the crime of coming into our country illegally, that they're going to be easy to round up, or I say round up, they're going to be easy to find and send back, which leads me to this video here from the recently appointed border czar from Donald Trump, Tom Homan, who is going head-to-head with AOC over Trump's administration policy that separated children from their families, which In my opinion, it was a safeguard to make sure that the children were actually with their families, which in my opinion was a safeguard to make sure that the children are actually with their families and not being trafficked. And in addition to what Tom Homan is about to say right here.
Mr. Homan, your name is on this. Is this correct?
Yes, I signed that memo.
So you are the author of the family separation policy.
I am not the author of this memo.
You're not the author, but you signed the memo.
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen on for the United States to pursue family separation.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
But it says here that you gave her numerous options, but the recommendation was option 3, family separation.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the Secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation, of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommend a zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separates.
The awkward silence of being burned to your face in front of all your peers in Congress, right? Gotta love it. And like I was saying, it's just basically now the Democratic Party is supporting illegal immigration via asylum. And that's what that last border bill was all about, was basically just facilitating asylum at a faster rate, not really stopping people from coming across the border. And so that's why I'm glad, they like to blame Trump for having it blocked, even though he wasn't a president or even a politician at the time. I'm still glad it didn't go through, amongst other reasons. When we see this graph, we realize that a lot of work has to be done in, frankly, removing these folks from our country. And I'm all for it. And this time, Donald Trump has the House and the Senate. Shouldn't have any issues besides maybe the 4 people that blocked Matt Gaetz or were going to block Matt Gaetz, who we know who they are. They're up for being primaried now at this point. And I don't know. With that, I think I'm just go ahead and wrap this one up. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video. That really helps out. Also, check out the store. Got some cool new shirts over there. This is one of them right here. Also, click the link to join the Discord down below. And I want to remind you guys, I go live every Wednesday and Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I'd love to see you there and have a conversation. If I don't see you there, I'll see you guys in the next video because you won't want to miss it.